Ron loves playing with the kids.
Build the wall.
This remains one of the worst ads ever, showing how corrupt and two-faced our politics are in this country.
Crazy. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, don't back down. We won't.
Funny enough, he did back down, with tanking numbers supporting his candidacy for POTUS.
How much is that worth?
Here he is laughing or something while meeting with supporters in Iowa a few weeks ago. But does that, whatever that is, does that make him seem likable or human for that matter?
Ron DeSantis, Florida's ultra Dollar Tree Trump, is a case study at this point. But when it comes to the region,
Donald is not going to make America great. He's going to make America orange.
it's sellouts like this.
Senator Rubio, it's hard to look at you and not look down the barrel of an AR-15 and not look at Nicholas Cruz. This is about people who are for making a difference to save us and people who are against it and prefer money. So, Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
No, the answer to the question is that people buy into my agenda. During my time
More
there.
NRA money? More NRA money?
That is the wrong way to look. First of all, the answer is people buy into my agenda.
That embarrass the state and put lives in danger.
As Americans, we are the peers of kings. And I don't think it's a bad thing if we start acting like it. Some might call that male privilege or white privilege. You know what? Those terms are just racist terms to try to tell people to shut up, and we're done being quiet.
These are the individuals, factions of the Sunshine State send to Congress.
Are you a pedophile? 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 Congressman, are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile?
The greatest driver of violence in the circumstances that I indicated was not the firearm. It was the fact that we have an immigration system that allows people to come here violently.
These are the folks who pretend to care about their own constituents.
Where's the crime? There is no crime. The only crime that's happening here is this Democrat judge and the Democrat Party prosecuting their political rival right in the middle of a presidential election.
Add Byron Donalds to the list as well.
You have a really interesting story. When you were a young man, you encountered the law, and you, when you were 18 years old, you were charged with a marijuana possession, intent to distribute charge, but you didn't go to jail for it. A lot of people probably don't know that about you, but one of the interesting things that's come up is that you have this bill that you support that addresses crime in DC, and it actually restricts the district from creating laws that would have leniency potentially in the sentencing for people who are younger, people who are 18 to 25 years old. You benefited from leniency. You benefited from a diversion program that kept you out of jail. Why shouldn't that be available to other teens right now?
He would dodge Abby Phillips's questions on CNN, essentially saying, yes, I did benefit, but I will not aid those in my shoes, because help for me, none for thee. Thus, when we see the clown car of elected officials on behalf of the state.
From looking outside, people just say Florida is such a crazy state. What does it feel like to be a Floridian in these days?
It is a crazy time to be a Floridian, especially a black one at that. But I will say, I think for most people, and especially in South Florida, we aren't happy with the current state of our government in Florida, especially everything with the books and just the way our office operates.
Coco Gauff, the number 3 ranked women's tennis player in the world, did not hold back on the book bans taking place under the failed leadership of Governor Ron DeSantis and more.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the youth and in the community being outspoken, but also being outspoken, but standing on business and going to the polls and voting. So I encourage everyone to vote and use your voice regardless of who you vote for. But I will say there's no point in complaining in the political climate of the world if you don't exercise your right to vote. That's just how I was raised personally.
It's a fine message, but it could have gone a bit further. If Gauff brought up, for example, a new federal lawsuit which is challenging Florida's redistricting of 4 congressional seats and 7 state house districts that accuse the state of racially gerrymandering these districts books and violating the U.S. Constitution. Frankly, that would have been dope if she stood in this interview on Business and said, check out the suit and how these maps disempower the voter, the ones I called on to go to the polls. That would be something, wouldn't it? I mean, just look at the maps. Look at them. Tell me the game isn't rigged. Tell me. She could have mentioned Florida, now serving as a right-wing hellscape and foil to criticize ahead of the November election. The President, Joe Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris have both used the state to rail against anti-abortion bans, to loose gun laws, and anti-LGBTQ plus community policies.
Being in Florida, I mean, day by day, I will say it's not something I think about often, but it is something that I am aware of, and hopefully, you know, I can encourage people to vote, especially people in the youth, because I feel like sometimes in my generation, people think their vote doesn't count. But I think it's important that everyone exercise their right to vote. I know other countries it's mandatory, in U.S. it's not. So I think we should just all use our voices and use the power that we have.
It's true. To follow up on this.
So apparently, I guess you have a warrant?
For what?
I'm not sure.
For voter stuff, man.
For voters.
It's what it is. I think the agents with FDLE talked to you last week about some voter fraud, voter stuff, when you weren't supposed to be voting, maybe. I didn't. So. What are they talking about? That's what we're not the case agents, but what you got to do, they have reduced your bond quite a bit. It's 2 felony charges for voter fraud, but they've reduced it to $500 bonds. So it's $1,000 total. Oh my God, man! What? Yes, sir. So unfortunately, right now we're gonna have to take you to jail. But you got a bond right away. You don't have to go to first appearance, nothing like that. So
a bond? I didn't do it. Okay. So, ma'am, we have a warrant for your arrest. For what? For voter fraud.
Good. How are you, sir?
Right. Oh my God! Hold on. Wait. Let me tell my husband.
We're telling him he's right here.
Right here. So if you can put your hands on your back, please. Oh my God! Do not move.
Ultimately, ma'am, you have a warrant.
On the exercise our right to vote mantra, let's not forget DeSantis' office of election crimes and security arresting folks for what they called an action to allege voter fraud. We called BS. Others did as well, because that's exactly what it was.
We're here to go vote for whatever comes out. I've done my time.
Yep. The warrant was just made yesterday, so yeah, I know. I don't know, ma'am. I honestly couldn't tell you. Okay. So I got to do some paperwork, and the quicker I can get the paperwork done, the quicker I can get you there. Okay.
hey, unfortunately, you got a warrant out. Okay.
Warrant?
Yes, sir. Want to put your hands behind your back for me?
Well, no, but no one ever really explained all that much to me. I told the guys when they came out here that I was at the driver's license place, getting my new driver's license. Yeah. The guy there asked me, he says, hey, can you vote? He says, hey, are you ready to vote? I said, no, I'm a convicted felon. I'm pretty sure I can. He goes, well, are you still on probation? I said, no. I got off probation like a month ago. He goes, well, then you can probably vote. Hey, just fill out the form, and if you can vote, then they'll give you a card. If you can't vote, then you won't. And I'm like, all right.
If there are any stories that you want to bring to our attention, whether it is the local level, collegiate level, professional level, national level, that you think would be worthy of a story and us covering, there are so many hours in a day and only so much we see. Submit them to me. Get at me on Twitter, on Instagram, and TikTok. Send me a DM, send me a tweet, what have you. We appreciate it. Hope you have a great day.